Hey everyone, this is Raul Ramirez of the Catch Wrestling Alliance, where we help you elevate your grappling, and together we keep real wrestling alive. Thank you very much for listening and watching and uh, streaming it. However, it's all really helpful to not catch wrestling itself, because basically there's you know I think like there's a lot of good things happening with catch wrestling. So I'm feeling that there's a lot more people now that are really trying to help keep real wrestling alive in a way. So let's just try to keep the ball rolling. We're doing really well at UCLA, and so that is leading up to the subject for today is a recap of our latest event, like what happened just a couple weeks ago. Here in Los Angeles, we had an event we called the Gotch Invitational. So we want to start off small. We had a basically four matches. So it's just like any kind of MMA event where you have like the main card is like just like four or five matches. So we kind of wanted to have it in that way as well. Uh, but what was really cool is we got some pretty cool people to participate, and hopefully it just continues from there. I think this we got some really great feedback, and more and more people want to participate. So maybe it's kind of funny because like a lot of times people will say that they want to participate or they want to have a match, but then we'll have a match or I'll announce an event, and then for some reason these people don't show up. Right, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make it more like an invitational thing instead of just some open tournament. But yeah, I think everything should be good. Now that even COVID restrictions and all that are easing up in Los Angeles. So yeah, let's just try to keep the ball rolling. Try to ride this momentum and stuff. So you'll see more events coming up. So let's go ahead and just kind of do a little bit of a recap of the different matches. So hopefully you had a chance to see them. If not, they're on our channel, our YouTube channel. It's on a playlist called Gotch Invitational 2022. They should all be there, including the post-match interviews. Let's go ahead and go like in order. So the first match we had Angel Castillo versus Nick Elia. So this was kind of battle of the heavyweights. It was a pretty cool match in itself. Is so I know that people don't really know who these people are. At least some of the first matches. So let me give you a little bit of a background. Uh, Castillo, he had a wrestling background. He had done wrestling uh, since he was in high school. So he did folk style wrestling. He's done all kinds of grappling arts, different like traditional arts as well. So I think right now he's really into some of the like Chinese martial arts and stuff. He's been competing in some of the Chinese wrestling and some of the Chinese kickboxing stuff. So he's not new to martial arts and definitely not new to grappling. So he was kind enough to have a match for us. Um, Nick Elia, he was definitely newer to catch wrestling itself, but he'd been doing all kinds of different martial arts as well, dabbling in MMA training and whatnot. So he's been doing martial arts for a while, but he had just recently started training here in Los Angeles with us at Fight Science MMA. So we really like helped him to refine his style. So basically, when the match started, Castillo did really well, at least shooting in. Um, Nick was able to kind of stuff these shots. Castillo did a lot of really great reversal stuff, but ultimately, Nick Elia was able to get that crossface finish. So Hopefully, I'm not spoiling it. So, spoiler alert. Hopefully, you still want to go watch the matches, but um, it was pretty cool because it's really cool to see like these neck crank finishes because ultimately you're not quite seeing them so much in any other style, right? Um, or some people are being they're calling some things like neck cranks or whatever, and but it's not things that like a seasoned catch wrestler would tap out to. So this was an official, like you say, like an official catch wrestling neck crank, which was great to see. So, make sure you check out that match. The next one was Jonathan Jimenez versus Anand Krishnan. Um, this one was a really cool match. Anand, he is a student at UCLA. Like he's one of the catch wrestling students at UCLA. So he has been wanting to do, wrestling all his life. So at UCLA, he was able to start training. So that was really a great uh, chance for him to, actually not only train, but then to try to put it to the test in competition. So it was Anand versus Jonathan Jimenez. So Jonathan Jimenez, you might see him also like we'll share some of his stuff on our other social media. He's a really huge catch wrestling enthusiast. He also started training with us at Fight Science MMA. So he has a background in like doing Muay Thai. He's done Jiu-Jitsu as well. He currently trains in all these different styles. So he's really trying to just stay sharp and like really like get into the martial arts now. So uh, he's what was really cool, and you'll see in his post match interview, he kind of talks about how the style is really great, and ultimately this style helps him when he spars against like jiu-jitsu and whatnot. So it's really great to see these people so enthusiastic not only about wrestling but catch wrestling in particular. So they had a match together because they're about the same weight, same size. Anand was really aggressive, but Jonathan had been working on his double wrist lock stuff. So um, I think you should really watch that match because you'll see some pretty cool maneuvering by Jonathan with the double wrist lock. Because a lot of times, once you get a hold, so like one of these wrestling holds, like the double wrist lock, the main thing is like you can use it or you can basically hang on to it until you can get the submission, right? Or you can get the pin, right? So um, that's ultimately what happened. So Jonathan still kept that hold, right, the double wrist lock, until he was able to get a submission because Anand was rolling with it, was doing somersaults, getting out, but not out completely, right? And Jonathan was able to finally find the angle in which to submit Anand. So it was a really cool match. Just check it out. A lot of these matches aren't, they're not that very long, so it's pretty easy to get through the whole event pretty quickly, at least match wise or match video wise. Next one was a really interesting match. It was Lindsey Franco versus Kiani Gonzalez, and this one was really cool because it was uh, Lindsay had been training for a couple years at 10th Planet, not only in Los Angeles but in the Bay Area. So she is very familiar with jiu-jitsu, but recently here in Los Angeles in particular, she started taking the like the amateur or the freestyle or amateur wrestling classes at 10th Planet. So she had been like really trying to dive deeper into wrestling. So she took the match and was doing very well. I'd say even like controlling the match a little bit at the beginning, but then I don't know if it was in. I don't think it was in the post-fight interview with Kiani Gonzalez, But she told me personally that um, I think she felt like, oh man, like so in the beginning of the match, she wasn't so like mentally into it yet, and so when Franco was like kind of dominating her, that's when it clicked. Like she realized, like, oh man, I think I can lose, right? Or I'm being dominated. So then that really like lit a fire under her, and so then she all of a sudden came to life and got very aggressive and was able to get out of like the neck cranks and all these other kinds of uh, positions that Franco was putting her in, and was then able to turn the tables and get a pin. So that I think it's pretty cool to see. So definitely check that match out. You can kind of see someone who comes from a like almost like a pure jujitsu background, and see how they try to like overcome some of the like the pin basically, right? So the next match after this one you should really watch. It is. Oh, let me move my cat. He's wanting to be up here, but then not chill. He's not chilling. Okay, so next match was Anjani versus Savannah M. So uh, first, let's talk about Anjani. She actually has been on this channel before. She is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. When she was on this channel, she was a purple belt, and she basically she goes to a lot of the gi um, like worlds and all this stuff, and she wins. Like she usually wins in jiu-jitsu. Um, but she's willing to try anything really. So she decided to agree to have a catch wrestling match. She understood, the whole thing about pins and whatnot, and then also Savannah. She she's she was very kind to agree to a match. She fights professionally and won championship in MMA. She's doing well in MMA, and so she agreed to have a catch wrestling match. So she works again. I think just like a lot of people, they do like they'll train in amateur wrestling and jujitsu, and then maybe try to combine things. So, but again, like it seems like the pin is not like emphasized so much. So, um, so yeah, so she agreed to have a match, and that was like the almost like the main thing that people just like not necessarily used to it, or they're not really training and cognizant of it. So I think that was kind of like the main thing that kind of like ended it for some people. And so yeah, this match was no different. So it wasn't necessarily like a submission. Anjani was maybe trying to do some counter submissions and stuff, uh, but ultimately she ended up getting rolled over onto her back. So yeah, it's definitely a battle of some of the most highly skilled grapplers of the night, and everyone is really interested and excited to try to continue doing catch wrestling matches. So hopefully we can just keep the ball rolling and get a wider variety of people, maybe even more people. Like we're having more people uh, like training more diligently at UCLA. So hopefully we can get more people coming in from UCLA as well as other competitors from around the country and whatnot. So, but yeah, see who can come to Los Angeles. We try to do it at different locations. We did it in the Midwest and whatnot. But yeah, let's just go ahead and make it where we got a pretty good setup, and so let's just try to keep it going here in Los Angeles. Um, so yeah, hopefully you guys all saw the matches. Let me know if you have any questions about it. It'd be cool to get your thoughts on it. A lot of people seem to really enjoy the matches. We've got some pretty good feedback. So we'll see what goes on. We'll see when and where we do the next one. Um, but yeah, it seems like we can just keep the ball rolling. All right. So Boris Quintero, hi, keep catch wrestling alive. Yes, thank you, and thank you for your support, Boris. And then Hala, hey, Coach Raul, nice to see you here. Yeah, nice to see you too, Hala. So, um, Hala actually is one of our CWA Academy students. So, thank you for coming on the live stream. Uh, so, for those of you who don't know, like if you're not in Los Angeles and you can't train with us at Fight Science MMA or at UCLA, then you can always jump on our online academy. So CWA Academy, that is on our website, catchwrestlingalliance.com. We also try to be at Hala's suggestion. We implemented like a monthly kind of Q&A thing, so members can submit their questions, and then I'll do like a video response. So you can get your questions answered for like say like trouble spots, like where you're getting stuck when you're wrestling or grappling in jujitsu. Doesn't matter. You know, I'll give at least my point of view, so you try to get like a catch wrestling perspective on like even a lot of like common jujitsu like counterattacks and whatnot. So to kind of give you the edge, so you can still use catch wrestling in your jujitsu practice, right? Your jujitsu game, right? Because that's ultimately like it's kind of the point where it's like it's not like it's not like you learn catch wrestling and then you just abandon it like when you do jujitsu. No, you can totally apply it. And nowadays we're even seeing, especially like in nogi, a lot of people talking about like including wrestling in their training, and not and um catch wrestling in particular would be the ideal style, right? But you gotta find like an authentic coach. So if you're not in LA, or if you're not in the East Coast with like my good buddy John Strickland, so if you're on the East Coast, like regardless of like what state you're in, like do yourself a favor and go train with John Strickland in South Carolina. I mean, like really, you guys on the like for people who are not in the United States, like the East Coast of the country is pretty small, and like just drive because like say I'm in Los Angeles in California, and like our state is massive, and it it would take up the majority of the East Coast of the United States. And so then when people don't want to when people on the East Coast don't want to make that drive to South Carolina, I got no sympathy for you, right? So 'cause we have, it's just being in a state that's so large, and to hear to hear people complain about traveling a couple tiny states to get to like the best catch wrestling training you can get is it's like it's no excuse, right? Just go. Okay. John can be found easily on Facebook. It's called his organization is called American Hook Wrestling. So you can just go to Facebook and look up American Hook Wrestling. You'll find the page for it. Um, so yeah, if you're on the East Coast, just go, just go. There's no excuse. Um, all right. Um, so yeah, I guess maybe you have more of an excuse if you're on the West Coast because it's just such a huge distance. Um, all right. Okay, 1 second here. All right, so the battery was not plugged, or the computer wasn't plugged in, so I almost died on you guys right now, just then. But okay, we're good. So feel free to ask any questions you want. The main thing is what's like a real sport, right? There was one like criticism, which I think is weird, and we get it often because we usually try to have women's matches as well. Then you'll have people say like, "Oh, I don't know." Though some weirdos complain that women do this, but like seriously, if you look at the Olympic criteria for like what is like a real sport that can be considered as like an Olympic sport, you have to have a men and women's division. And I guess there's one kind of criticism, not of us, but like just of that type of point of view where it's like where like men like don't like women's sports or women doing sports. Like um, it's like if you like sports so much, you should be happy that women are doing it too, because that just means more sports, more sports all around. But either way, we're still going to continue having women's matches. That, at least in my mind, that's what makes a sport even more legitimate, is when men and women do it as well. Say like even in jiu-jitsu, we're having more women's matches. Unfortunately, like what you see, like I think if we get more women doing, like I think in jiu-jitsu you'll have more women like doing it sooner. So like at ADCC, you'll see they have kind of a too broad of a weight division where it's just like under a certain weight and over a certain weight are the weight divisions for ADCC women. Hopefully they start adding maybe a couple more divisions there. Um, they can have a broad kind of like, because the men's divisions are broad as well. They're about like 20-pound weight increments. Um, So, but if they, I think they probably have enough women competing. They could probably add maybe like a third or fourth division. I think the men have like 5 divisions. So, but anyway, to have like a real sport, you got to have women doing it as well. So we're gonna have women doing it. Women want to do it, so uh, it should be more catch wrestling for everyone, right? So more for you, right? And also more opportunities for women competing in it. So just let us know. Also, yeah, let us know if you want to compete, if you're able to make it to the Los Angeles area. Let's try to keep this thing going. One thing that I thought was bizarre though is that like we have a lot of people who have like catch wrestling in their handles, right? So like they're on their accounts, like in their name, they're all about catch wrestling. But then a few of these people like ask like what the rules are. That is really bizarre. So if you don't know the rules of catch wrestling, maybe I don't like why would you even have catch wrestling in your name, like your handle or whatever. Um, just think you really want to focus on the pins, right? You don't want to have a short time limit. You want to not be doing like the chokes, right? That's pretty much it, and that's the way it has been. That's the way even Billy Robinson wanted it. I know a lot of people pervert a lot of what he has to say or what he said, right? All the old timers do it the same way we do it, or the same way we show. So it's not like people didn't know chokes or didn't know how to do them, but in competition, they really didn't want the chokes. So it's we're gonna stick to the real version, the more authentic version, and we're not going to pervert it or anything like that. So people seem to like it. I mean, the matches are really exciting. Neck cranks are just like awesome. I don't know why people are just like why they get upset about that. It's like why don't you do the what's better, or we can get a tap faster, with a face lock or neck, any kind of like cross face. It's like neck cranking someone. It's like it's more awesome. Anyway, so that complaint I think is just completely bizarre. But yeah. So, um, yeah. So definitely appreciate everyone's support. Thank you to everyone who watched it or watched all the matches. If you haven't, it's on a playlist that's on our channel, so it should be easy to find. You can see all the matches and then all the post-match interviews. Everyone was really excited afterwards. Even the people who lost their matches. So. They you'll see them again, and no reason to uh if they want to have a match, they can try again, totally fine, totally fine. All right, so if you want to help us to keep real wrestling alive, and say if you don't want to become a student, you can always just become a member of our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, any video, and I think also if you just go to our channel itself, there's like a join button. You can become a member. If you do it at the middle tier, then you get access to videos. But you can do it at the basic tier. I still make some of the videos available for the lowest tier as well. Um, so you can help us out whether you're going to be a student or not. or if you want to become a student, then yeah, feel free to jump over to our CWA Academy. Also, we have different like different video courses on our website that you can learn. We definitely want to try to start adding more. It seems like seems like the demand at UCLA is actually growing. They've asked me to teach more classes and stuff, so we should be able to get more content out, you know, in sooner now, and at least in the new year. Right now, like the quarter is ending over there on campus. This is the last week, so we'll have to take a little break until the new year. But we'll still be having classes at Fight Science MMA. But yeah, just know that. So in the new year, we should be able to come back even stronger. Hala, how often are you going to be having these matches? It really depends. I mean, just keep in touch. You already know how to contact me. Let me know. Say like if there's a time that you could make it, or maybe I'll let you know when we're trying to finalize a date or a time. Then hopefully maybe you can make it down here, because Hala doesn't live in Los Angeles, so it's quite far. So yeah, if you're really interested in trying, then yeah, let's do it. So because we need more authentic catch wrestling matches going. It's a really exciting style just in itself. So people shouldn't necessarily have to be training catch wrestling to then use it for jujitsu or use it for whatever Naga or ADCC or whatever. It's useful, and I think it's like the best style to learn if you want to use it in that way. But these matches or this style is exciting just by itself. So let's have matches that are these like authentic catch wrestling matches. Um, so let's keep the ball rolling. Um, all right. So anybody else have any questions? Just shoot. Just let them know, or just let me know. Go ahead and write them out. Um, so the other thing would be we also have on our website but oh yeah, we just have like the Black Friday stuff or Cyber Monday stuff just go on our website. So you can just go to our website and click on Black Friday. A lot of our video courses are discounted right now, so feel free to take advantage of that. I'm not sure when I'll take that down, so but do it soon, because I'm totally generous with the time and all that, so I'll leave that up maybe a few more days, maybe take it down the end of the week or whatever. But yeah, take advantage right now, because we have some really cool courses up there, stuff about passing guard. So speaking of like using catch wrestling and jiu-jitsu scenario, I want to do that. So we already have the pressure passing volume 1. I want to get the pressure passing volume 2 out. So hopefully, yeah, we basically got a lot of stuff going on in the new year. So we'll be getting all these different video series out there, also more matches and stuff. So yeah, so stay tuned. We'll still be doing the podcast, so keep asking questions. Keep letting me know like what you want to talk about. But yeah, it's just because of you and your interests, you're really helping to keep real wrestling alive. I really thank everyone for that. So I think maybe today, if no one's really asking any questions, we can totally cut it a little bit short right now. Not, I won't say short, but I mean, been talking for a half hour. So yeah, so just let us know if you want to have a match. If you want to support us, you can do it through through YouTube, or if you want to join our academy and you're not around LA, there's our website, catchwrestlingalliance.com. Or if you want to learn just a little bit, you can always do one of our courses. We also have a judo course up there. We have a MMA and like a Chinese kickboxing course. So a lot of good stuff up there for you. All right. So go ahead and check it out. Make sure you also check out the matches that we just had. Let me know who your favorite person was, who you'd like to see more of. So these people are actually really great in their particular styles. So I really want to thank them for trying out catch wrestling. So let's just keep the ball rolling. All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. And so, again, ask questions. We want to help elevate your grappling, and together we keep real wrestling alive. Thank you.